Hey guys, it's About Beer 30. Let's take a walk into the kitchen and see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Look at this great big bottle. This is Salted Caramel Bourbon Barrel Aged Porter. And this comes from Anderson Valley. They're out there in California. I picked this up from Donovan and the guys out there at Servall Liquors in San Diego. If you're not in that area where you can swing by and check them out, go online, craftcity.com, and check out the massive selection of beers that they have available. And if your state allows them to ship beers to you, you can place an order and it'll send it right to your door like I do here, and you'll have it, stuff that you can't get. So let's see what this brings. Anderson Valley makes some really tasty stuff. Now this is not, usually when you hear a bourbon barrel aged stout or a bourbon barrel aged porter, they're great big beers, or 8, 9, 10 or bigger beers. This is only a 6%er done in bourbon barrels. Very unusual to have a bourbon barrel aged dark beer at this low of an ABV. So great big 22-ounce bomber here, enough to share, which I intend to do here. Final beer of the evening for me. So let's get on with it. Commercial description says the slightly sweet porter is brewed with a select addition of crystal malts and sea salt to create flavors of peanut brittle and caramel without being cloyed. The medium body and mouthfeel lay the perfect foundation to support the rich vanilla, oak, and bourbon flavors imparted by extending aging in wild turkey barrels. That's why I'm so surprised that this is only a 6%er. Usually when they throw them in those barrels, it jacks the ABV up a little bit. So I don't know if it's first run wild turkey barrels that they've used, or it's had beer in them before to have this low of an ABV. I don't know what to expect on this one, because usually these bourbon barrel aged versions of these dark beers are a lot bigger ABV. This one is not. So I'm hoping it's going to be tasty. Everything that I've had from these guys at Anderson Valley has been really, really tasty. I hope this does not disappoint. So that's all we need to talk about. Commercial description, ABV, as far as IBUs, Untapped has it at 16. So it shouldn't be very bitter at all. It should be a nice, sweet porter. So let's get the cap off of this bad boy. Nice hiss, a little bit of smoke coming out. Into the glass we go. Cuisine is barbecue, Latin American. Cheeses are earthy, Camembert, Fontina. Goes well with your chocolate dishes. Dessert beer. Meat is shellfish, smoked meat, and grilled meat. Glass are in a pint, Bacaronic tumbler mug style Sidell. I got my favorite tulip glass today, guys, and it says not recommended for extended celery. Well, it's been in a bourbon barrel, but it's a 6%er. I would think it would keep for 6 to 12 months anyway. About a half a finger of head on that pour, over into the light. Yeah, I'm getting some red rubiness on the thin part down here. It looks like it's a deep mahogany color down there, but I can't see any light through this big bowl part. So let's get a nose on it. Very ever so slight hint of some bourbon. Now it's cold right out of the fridge. That may intensify as it warms up. And I don't know how long they left it in the bourbon barrels, or they were first run bourbon barrels. Rich roasted malt, caramel, toffee, black molasses, and slight hints of bourbon in there, guys. It smells good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Donovan, and all the guys out there at Servall Liquors. Yeah, the bourbon is kind of subdued, guys. My humble opinion, they didn't leave it in the barrel very long, and if they did, it may not have been first run of barrels, especially since it's such a low ABV beer. It's only 6%. I'm not getting any of that alcohol. Just a little on the thin side, a little on the watery side. To be straight up honest with you, I'm a little unimpressed with this right now. When I see bourbon barrel aged, I'm expecting this big bourbon note, especially being in wild turkey barrels, which is huge bourbon aromas on the home. If you've ever bought any of that or drank any of that, you know what I'm talking about. A little underwhelming, it really is. I'm disappointed here. Wow, yeah, it's a little underwhelming here, guys. Well, it's right out of the fridge. Let's let it warm up, and before I reserve judgment and say something that I might want to take back when I come back. So let me let it warm up to room temperature. Pour her a glass and sip on this for a little bit and see what I think of it when I come back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Now it's warmed up to room temperature. I am getting a little bit of that salty caramel notes that they're describing on the label here. There is no vintage on it anywhere, no dating on the bottle, whatever. Kind of want to see that on a 6% beer, even though it's a porter. I would like to know that. I'm a little underwhelmed by this beer. To me, honestly, I think they wasted their time putting in the barrels. Evidently they didn't leave it in the barrels very long, and if it did, it wasn't a first run barrel. It did something that didn't have beer in it before. To be straight up honest with you, I probably wouldn't buy this beer if it was available here. And that's a little disappointing because these guys do make some great beers. Final chug. Slight hint of some nuttiness in there too, but the bourbon barrel aspect of it basically non-existent. If it didn't have it written on there, I wouldn't be able to taste it. So very disappointed in what I've got here. These guys can do better than that, and they can put a vintage on it on top of that. Anheuser-Busch, big beer company, they have the means to do that. They choose not to. So I choose not to give them a very good grade. This is a B beer, guys. 85 is where I'm going to put it. Over to Beer Advocate, that's exactly what they say, 85. I agree 100%. And final check-in, run over to Untapped, they say 3.73. B beer. It's not even to the B plus there either. B beer all the way around, guys. Everybody's in agreement here. It's a B beer. 6%. This would probably be a little bit better if they'd done it in the first run. Bourbon barrel, it would have been like 8 or 9 or even 10%, and an imperial porter instead of what they've got here. Like I said, probably would not purchase this if it was available here, and it may be available here. I'm not sure. Anheuser-Busch got a big distribution there. They go all over the place. Another reason why they have the means to date it or put a vintage on it, and they choose not to. So it is what it is, guys. B beer. So, if you've had this from Anheuser-Busch, their salted caramel, bourbon, aged porter, not getting that. So, if it wasn't written on the bottle, I'm not picking up on those bourbon notes very much. No, not gonna do it. Alright, if you've had this one from them guys, let me know what you think. A little underwhelming on this one, so a little disappointed on this, and they could do better. And I've had better from them. So, if you've had it, let me know what you think, guys. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.